Welcome to G Fun Facts Online. Today, we're diving into a topic that sits at the intersection of technology, economics, and immigration, the H-1B visa. You've probably heard of it, but this single visa category is more than just a piece of paper. It's a powerful engine, a political lightning rod, and a life-changing opportunity that shapes economies from Silicon Valley to Bangalore. So what exactly is the H-1B visa? Created by the Immigration Act of 1990, it allows U.S. companies to temporarily hire foreign professionals in what are called specialty occupations. Think jobs that require, at a minimum, a bachelor's degree. We're talking software engineers, doctors, architects, and scientists. There's a yearly cap, currently 65,000 visas, plus an extra 20,000 for those with a U.S. master's degree or higher. The catch? Demand crushes supply every single year, leading to a high-stakes lottery system. This oversubscription tells you just how critical this program is for American companies, especially in the tech world. But is it a net positive? Let's break down the arguments. Proponents see the H-1B program as a vital tool for keeping America competitive. They argue it fills crucial skill gaps and fuels innovation. Now, there's data to back this up. Studies suggest that a rise in H-1B visas corresponds directly to an increase in GDP, especially in tech and finance. Some economists even credit H-1B holders with 30 to 50% of all U.S. productivity growth between 1990 and 2010. That is a staggering number. This innovation isn't just an abstract concept. You can measure it in patents. A 2021 study found a high correlation between the number of H-1B holders in a state and the number of patents filed, particularly in computer science. And the anecdotal evidence is powerful. The CEOs of Google and Microsoft, Sundar Pichai and Satya Nadella, both started their U.S. careers on H-1B visas. But what about the most common criticism? That H-1B workers take jobs from Americans? Well, many economists point to a multiplier effect. The idea is that these highly specialized professionals don't just fill a single role. They complement the existing workforce, enabling companies to expand and, in turn, create more jobs for everyone else. Think of supporting roles in marketing, sales, and administration. One study from the National Foundation for American Policy found that for every H-1B position requested, an average of 7.5 additional jobs are created in the U.S. It seems counterintuitive, but by adding a key player to the team, you enable the entire team to grow. Now, let's talk about the most contentious point: wages. Do H-1B visas suppress American salaries? Critics argue that companies use the program to hire cheaper foreign labor, pointing out that since a worker's visa is tied to their employer, their bargaining power is limited. And some studies have found instances where H-1B workers were paid less than their American peers. However, the broader picture is more complex. In 2021, the median wage for an H-1B worker was $108,000. That's more than double the median wage of $45,760 for all U.S. workers. In fact, between 2003 and 2021, the median H-1B wage grew by 52%, outpacing the 39% growth for all U.S. workers. Many employers offer H-1B workers salaries higher than the government-mandated prevailing wage. The discrepancy in findings suggests that while some firms might exploit the system, it's not a universal trend. High-skilled H-1B workers are often paid a premium because they possess hard-to-find skills. The impact of the H-1B doesn't stop at the U.S. border. It creates massive ripple effects across the globe, and nowhere is this more evident than in India, the country that receives over 70% of all H-1B visas. For decades, India has grappled with brain drain, the mass emigration of its best and brightest. The H-1B has been a primary vehicle for this exodus of engineers, scientists, and doctors. The pull of higher salaries, better research facilities, and a higher standard of living in the US is undeniable. It's a loss of human capital that could be driving India's own development. But this is where the story gets interesting. The narrative is shifting from a simple brain drain to a more complex brain gain or brain circulation. First, there are remittances. H-1B workers send billions of dollars back home. The US is the largest source of remittances to India, accounting for roughly $35 billion a year. This is a vital injection of foreign currency into the Indian economy. Second, the knowledge flows back. Professionals who gain experience in Silicon Valley often return to India to start their own companies, become leaders in Indian firms, or invest in the local economy. They bring back not just capital, but experience in scaling businesses and global product thinking. This circulation of talent is a powerful, long-term benefit. And recent developments, like proposed hikes in H-1B visa fees, might even trigger a reverse brain drain, as skilled professionals find it more attractive to return to India's booming startup scene, especially in fields like AI. From the perspective of multinational corporations, the H-1B is a strategic piece on a global talent chessboard. Tech giants like Amazon, Google, and Microsoft rely on it to hire the best minds, regardless of nationality. When the US tightens H-1B rules or raises costs, these companies don't just stop hiring, they adapt. They expand their global capability centers in countries like India, or they nearshore jobs to Canada and Mexico. This creates a global race for talent. Countries like Canada and the UK are actively reforming their immigration systems to attract the skilled workers who might be deterred by the hurdles of the US system. But behind all these economic models and corporate strategies are human beings. For many, the H-1B is the key to the American dream. Think of Arvind Krishna, the CEO of IBM, or Jyoti Bansal, who came on an H-1B and later sold his company for $3.7 billion. These are incredible stories of success. However, the reality for many is precarious. Your legal status is tied to one employer. The fear of a layoff, which could mean having to pack up your life and leave the country in 60 days, is immense. This can lead to exploitation and a toxic work culture. And for those from countries like India, the wait for a green card or permanent residency can stretch for decades, leaving them in a state of perpetual limbo. The program itself has been in constant flux. Created in 1990 with a 65,000 cap, it was temporarily expanded to 195,000 during the dot-com boom, only to be reset in 2004. The lottery system was born in 2007 when applications overwhelmed the supply on the very first day of filing. More recently, we've seen proposals for massive fee increases and a shift from a random lottery to a wage-based selection system, which would prioritize the highest-paid applicants. This brings us to the future. The intense debate shows that the current system is broken. It's inefficient, with its arbitrary caps and lottery. Reform is needed, but the path is unclear. Should we simply raise the cap? Should we exempt graduates with advanced STEM degrees from US universities? A wage-based system sounds logical, as it prioritizes the highest skilled workers, but it could price out startups and nonprofits, potentially stifling the next wave of innovation. Striking the right balance is the ultimate challenge. The future of the H-1B visa is more than a policy debate. It will define America's role in the global economy, shape the growth of nations around the world, and determine the fate of millions of ambitious individuals seeking to build a better life. The discussion is far from over.